Okay, I am not in a makeup kind of mood. I'm not in anything kind of mood, and this shit is bugging my eyes if you wouldn't believe. Wasn't gonna do this, but I'm gonna do it. My name is Amanda, not Todd. I'm your garden variety Gen Xer. I was born in Toronto at Oakville General in 1975, February 19th. Excuse me, I'm just getting my notes together. I share the same victimology as Amanda Todd. I don't want to talk too much about my childhood. I do want to talk a little bit about stuff because stuff has been getting fucking scary since they're saying Aiden Cobain is innocent. And I believe he may be partially innocent. Because, like I said, I share the same victimology. I went through some sexual abuse as a child. I don't want to get too into it. It left me with a TBI, and I didn't really receive a lot of treatment or informed consent regarding it. The bullying and the hazing really kicked up probably, I mean, it was always bad, but it got worse probably around the age of 13, so around the same age that she was. And then the sexual coercive control was definitely in full effect by the time I was 14, 15 years old. I wanted to explain some terms because I just learned some terms recently. So I'm 50 years old now. He was just sent to jail, and there's a lot of people just still acting out like crazy, stupid shit. And it's embarrassing. And I feel like my phone has been hacked. My life has been under control. I'm not exactly like, Nelson Mandela over here, but at the same time, I've been blocked from making phone calls, getting work, leaving the country, leaving town, being followed when I leave town, threats, physical violence, physical acts of harm, made good on with family, friends, etc. And I just wanted to put this out here because I think it's a good idea to do it. Because why the fuck? I haven't got anything else better to fucking do. All right. Let's start with number one. This is called coercive control. Anyone know what it is? I wanted to do this because I feel like I'm being used as a political football, and absolutely no one has fucking talked to me in law enforcement or politicians or fucking anyone. Everyone's just shutting me down, and threats are a thing. Also, I think I'm being used to incite a race war. Back in the day, I wasn't like white enough. I know that's retarded. I can't even use that word anymore. To breed. And I think, part of it was they just didn't want me breeding. Like up until 1987, if you were like racially ambiguous, you were considered a form of psychopathy by law in Ontario. And I just kind of fell under the radar with all of that. Which is a whole can of worms in itself, but I don't want to make this video too long, and I don't want to make it so much about me because I really want to talk about the shitty fucking behavior that's a fucking epidemic right now. And I think we need to fucking talk about this shit like super fucking fast to like de-escalate some major fucking shit. And I don't want to be used in a race war. And I believe that white people can be racist against Indians and Indian people can be racist against whites. And then it's racist to think that we don't have human traits where we can act like fucking complete idiots. Where we can lie, cheat, steal, thieve, murder, rape, blah, 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 blah. It's not funny if a white person goes after a Indian child, and it's not funny if an Indian person goes after a white child and thinks it's funny. It's just not funny, period. It is against the law, but we do have a human trafficking epidemic. We have a child trafficking epidemic. We also have an epidemic of all sorts of other bullshit. So let me get into bullshit. Or actually terms that are not so bullshit that will clear up the bullshit. All right, the first one is coercive control. I have to write this down. It's an act or a pattern of acts of assaults, threats, humiliation, and intimidation, other abuse that is used to harm, punish, or frighten their victim. Coercive control, controlling behavior, is at the heart of domestic abuse. I believe it also helps, groom victims, future victims of human trafficking as well, which I will get into. Systemic abuse, also known as structural abuse, refers to the unfair treatment of individuals or groups by a social or cultural system or authority. It involves the ways a system can lead to harm or disadvantage. A more detailed look. Structural abuse. This term specifically describes the process by which a system rather than an individual inflicts harm. Examples include discriminatory practices, inadequate resources, or policies that systemically disadvantage certain groups. So I believe that everyone can fall under this, you know, whether they're white, black, brown, in between. I believe that we can all fall by the wayside. So whether you're a kid working in a blood battery mine or, I don't know, one of Diddy's victims, it's anything is possible, you know, and it's good to keep an open mind and look at that for what it is. I'm gonna move down the line here. So examples include discriminatory practices, inadequate resources, or policies that systemically disadvantage certain groups. Now, I think I said that, but if I didn't, I did. And we're going to go to institutional abuse. This type of abuse occurs in institutions like schools. This is where mine started. Hospitals and government agencies. Mine was in schools, hospitals, and government agencies. And then it turned in kind of a thing within the music industry that just became an out of control thing. That's just been an embarrassing thing. I mean, it was an open secret thing for a while. That was embarrassing for me, and now it's embarrassing for everyone else. Karma. Let's go back here. Abuse occurs within hospitals and government agencies. It can manifest as neglect, abuse, or failing to provide adequate services. Impact on individuals includes systemic abuse, can lead to neglect and negative health outcomes. Pardon me. I can't read my own writing. Limited opportunities and a loss of dignity. Social and cultural systems. This can include things like justice system, healthcare system, education system, and employment practices, all of which have been weaponized in the last 10 years. Wikipedia says that this can range from acts similar to home-based child abuse, such as neglect, physical and sexual abuse, and hunger, to the effects of assistance programs, working below acceptable service standards or relying on harsh or unfair ways to modify their behavior. Keep going. I'm almost done here. All right. Because I wanted to talk about facts because I'm so upset that I thought if I talk about facts, I can get grounded here. And then someone may actually listen to me. Human trafficking. This is the Google definition. The unlawful transporting or coercing of people in order to benefit from their work or service, typically in the form of forced labor or sexual exploitation. Lateral violence. This one's an important one because this is one that Canada is really suffering from, and it's interesting that we know the definition of this. It was probably, the term was coined here, and we're fucking with this one real bad. Like, we're about to blow up, man. Lateral violence is displaced violence that is an anger and rage directed towards members within a marginalized or oppressed community rather than the external sources of oppression. So if a fight breaks out in a blood battery mine or in a homeless shelter, right, they're not going to take it out on the people who cut the services or created a situation for those services to be inadequate, right? They're going to take it out on each other. That's a good example of lateral violence. Hoes fighting in the street until their pimp comes along and bitch slaps them. That's lateral violence. I accused RuPaul last week of being laterally violent, but actually he was more vertically than horizontally violent. I think I know what horizontal. He was being a little bitch. He's being a big bitch, actually. Lateral violence can involve less obvious negative behaviors such as ignoring coworkers, withholding information, violating someone's privacy, excluding others socially, refusing to assist others, or breaking someone's trust. So those are the lesser terms. The larger terms are gossip, shaming, blaming, threats of physical harm, actually creating physical harm, sabotage. There's a whole bunch of gamut. You can Google it if you want. Anyways, there's my under 10-minute video explanation of stuff that led to the victimology that Amanda Todd shared with me. I want to extend my deepest, sincerest sympathies to her family and friends. And I am so sorry that I couldn't somehow make things right faster to prevent her death. Also, you know, if Aiden Cobain happens to be innocent, I do apologize because I was around for the whole Guy Palmeren, you know, Omar Kadir stuff. So, you know, I know and I feel ya. And I don't like the idea of someone being held accountable or having to be a fall guy for one of the worst crimes that can get you targeted in prison, you know, for severe fucking violence. And, you know, it's definitely not something I would want to be, it's a situation I wouldn't want to be in. So that's my amends to society, is that I've tried to speak up, I've tried to do things, I've tried to say things, I've been attacked, I've had family members attacked, I've been threatened multiple occasions, I've almost died, and I've had friends, you know, attacked. I've had friends threatened, and I don't know if people have died or not. There's been a lot of gaslighting going along. There's been a lot of flying monkeys. There's just been a lot of bullshit in general to justify and rationalize a bullshit agenda that exploits the vulnerable. And that's basically all it comes down to. Moral relativism has no place in this. Right and wrong are pretty much the same in every culture and every religion. We all know what it is. We just have to start applying it, people. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.